Your puppy just hit 8 weeks old. You clip on the leash for the first time, step outside onto the busy sidewalk, and wonder why your dog is absolutely losing its mind. Pulling, spinning, sitting down, and refusing to move. And you are already Googling, why does my puppy hate the leash? Here's the thing, you didn't fail. The setup failed you. Most people start leash training on the wrong day, in the wrong place, with the wrong equipment. And then they blame the dog. This video is going to change how you think about the whole process, from the very first moment that leash touches your puppy's body. Let us be honest about something most dog training videos will not say out loud. Leash training a puppy is not just about teaching a behavior. It's about building a relationship with a brand new animal who has never experienced restraint, never walked on pavement, and has absolutely no reason yet to care about where you want to go. That's the real starting point. And if you skip over that foundational truth, you end up in a daily battle, you pulling one way, your puppy pulling the other, both of you frustrated before you've even made it to the end of the block. I've worked with a lot of new puppy owners, and the ones who struggle the most have one thing in common. They treat leash training like it should be instant, like the puppy should just get it. But your dog doesn't come preloaded with an understanding of personal space, pace, or direction. Those things have to be taught, carefully, in the right order. So here's what we are going to cover today. We're going to talk about why the equipment choice matters more than most people think. We're going to walk through the exact progression you should follow, starting inside your own home, not outside on the street. We're going to address the most common mistakes owners make in the first few weeks, including the one that accidentally teaches your puppy that pulling works. And we are going to talk about what loose leash walking actually looks like when it is done right, and how long it realistically takes to get there. Stay with me, because the payoff here is enormous. Not just a dog who walks nicely, but a dog who actually wants to stay close to you. Let us start at the very beginning, because this is where most people make their first mistake. The equipment problem. Nobody talks about. Walk into any pet store, and you'll see an entire wall of leashes, collars, harnesses, and clips. And if you are a new puppy owner, you probably grabbed whatever looked cute or whatever the store associate pointed at. No judgment, but the equipment you choose in those first few weeks sends your puppy very specific information about how the two of you interact. Let us talk collars first. A flat collar is fine for holding ID tags. It's not ideal for leash training a young puppy. When a puppy hits the end of a leash attached to their neck and feels pressure on their throat, two things happen. 1, it is uncomfortable. 2, the instinct of most dogs is to push into pressure, meaning they lean forward harder, which means more pulling. You didn't create a well-behaved walker. You accidentally created a pulling machine. Now, harnesses. This is where it gets nuanced. Not all harnesses are created equal, and the type of harness matters enormously for leash training puppies. A back clip harness, the kind where the leash attaches on top between the shoulders, is comfortable, but it also has that same problem. It gives your dog a mechanical advantage to pull. Think about sled dogs. They wear harnesses that clip on the back. There's a reason for that. The front clip harness is a much better starting tool for training. When the leash attaches at the chest, any forward pulling motion causes the puppy to naturally redirect sideways toward you. It's not punishment. It's physics. It interrupts the momentum of the pull without causing pain or fear. For a puppy who's just learning what a leash even is, this is a game changer. You're setting them up to accidentally get it right, which is exactly where training should start. One more thing on equipment: leash length. Start with a standard 6-foot leash, not a retractable leash. Retractable leashes teach a puppy that pulling pays off because the leash just keeps extending. The lesson your puppy learns is pressure forward equals more freedom. That's the opposite of what you want. Short start. Here's the thing about retractable leashes that nobody tells you when you buy one. Every single time your puppy hits the end of that leash and it extends, they are learning a lesson. And the lesson is, pulling works. The leash gets longer when I pull, so I should pull more. You're not buying convenience, you're buying a pulling habit. Switch to a standard 6-foot leash and watch how much faster your training moves. Short end. Start inside. Seriously, This is the piece of advice that surprises people most, and it is probably the single most important shift you can make. Do not start leash training outside. Start inside your home. Here's why. Outside is overwhelming for a young puppy. There are smells, sounds, other animals, moving cars, kids on bikes. It is a sensory explosion. Asking your puppy to learn a new skill in that environment is like asking someone to learn to drive in the middle of a highway. The conditions make learning nearly impossible. Inside your home, your puppy already feels safe. They know the smells. They're relaxed. And a relaxed puppy learns so much faster than a stressed or overstimulated one. So here's your first step. Let your puppy wear the harness inside for a few days before you ever clip a leash to it. Just wear it, eat in it, play in it, sleep in it if they are comfortable. You're building a positive association with the equipment before you ever introduce leash pressure. Next, clip the leash on inside the house and just let it drag. Supervised, obviously. You do not want it catching on anything, but let your puppy move around with this thing attached to them. This removes the startle response many puppies have the first time they feel resistance from a leash. By the time you pick up the other end, it is already familiar. Then pick up the leash and practice following your puppy, not leading. Following. Let them choose the direction for a few minutes. This sounds counterintuitive, but it builds leash comfort without conflict. Your puppy learns that the leash being held doesn't mean something bad happens. After a few sessions of that, we are talking days, not hours. You start introducing gentle direction changes. Call your puppy's name, take a few steps in a new direction, and reward them when they follow. Tiny pieces of food work great here. A soft, high-value treat that they'll drop everything for. You're not yanking. You're not correcting. You're just making following you the most rewarding thing available. The pulling pattern and how it gets locked in ***, here's what happens in most households. The puppy starts pulling toward something interesting. The owner follows, because what else are you going to do? The puppy reaches the interesting thing. And in that moment, without any words or intention, the owner just taught the puppy that pulling is effective. This is called inadvertent reinforcement. And it is the #1 reason loose leash walking is so hard to fix once the habit is set. The dog has a clear history of, I pull, I get what I want. Why would they stop? The fix requires consistency that feels a little awkward at first. The moment your puppy hits the end of the leash and creates tension, you stop walking. Completely, you become a tree. No yanking back, no saying no, no moving forward, just stillness. The pulling stops producing forward movement. When the puppy backs off the tension, even slightly, you start moving again. You're teaching them through repetition that a tight leash means nothing happens, and a loose leash means we move forward. That's the entire core of loose leash walking, simplified. It requires patience because the early sessions feel glacially slow. You might make it 10 feet in 5 minutes. That's okay. You're not on a walk right now. You're in a training session that happens to take place outside. Short start-stop walking the moment the leash goes tight. Just stop. Don't say anything. Don't pull back. Become a tree. Wait. The second your puppy creates any slack in that leash, any at all, you start moving again. Repeat that 100 times over the next 2 weeks, and you will see a completely different dog on leash. Because you've changed the lesson from pulling works to a loose leash is what moves us forward. That single shift changes everything. Short end the attention game. Teaching your puppy to check an * loose leash walking isn't just about the mechanics of stopping and starting. The dogs who walk beautifully beside their owners share one quality. They look up at their person regularly. They check in. And that's a behavior you can actively teach. Inside and outside. Randomly throughout your walks and training sessions. Say your puppy's name in a cheerful voice. The moment they make eye contact, mark it with a yes or a click if you are using a clicker, and give them a treat. That's it. You're building a reflex where your puppy's name equals eye contact equals good things. Over time, as that becomes reliable, you'll notice your puppy starts offering you eye contact without being asked. They'll glance up at you mid-walk, and in those moments, reward them. Every single time at first. Because you are shaping a dog that sees you as the most interesting thing in the environment. Not the squirrel, not the other dog down the street, not the trash can that smells incredible. That attention is what makes loose leash walking sustainable. A dog that's tuned into you is a dog that's not lunging to the end of the leash every 3 seconds. Building duration, distance, and distraction in dog training, there's a framework called the 3 Ds. Duration, distance, and distraction. Anytime you are building a new skill, you add these one at a time. Never all 3 at once. For loose leash walking, this means, first, get a few steps of nice loose leash walking in a quiet place. That's duration, a short, clean stretch. Then extend that stretch. Then practice in a slightly busier environment. Then a busier one still. You're gradually turning up the difficulty while keeping your puppy set up to succeed. The mistake people make is going from living room training straight to a Saturday morning farmer's market. That's 1,000 times harder than where you last practiced. Your puppy isn't blowing you off. They are just at a level they haven't been trained for yet. Back it down and build back up. A realistic timeline. With consistent daily practice of 5 to 10 minutes, most puppies show significant improvement in loose leash walking within 4 to 6 weeks. Some faster, some slower, and that's okay. Every session counts, even the messy ones. What good leash walking actually feels like. Here's the thing about getting this right that nobody really talks about: what it does for you. When you are not bracing yourself for the next pull, when you are not dreading the walk before it even starts, you show up differently. You're calmer, more present, and your dog feels that. Dogs are exquisitely sensitive to our emotional state. A tense, frustrated owner on the other end of the leash communicates tension and frustration. A calm, patient owner communicates safety. And when your puppy learns to walk beside you, not because you are forcing it, but because you've made it genuinely rewarding, something shifts in the relationship. The walk stops being a daily battle and starts being the thing you both look forward to. That 10-minute training session turns into 20 minutes of actual enjoyment. That's what this is really about. Not just obedience for obedience's sake. It's about building something with your dog that feels good for both of you. The leash becomes less of a control device and more of a connection. A line between two beings who have learned to move through the world together. If this gave you a clearer picture of where to start, here's what I'd encourage you to do today, not tomorrow, today. Grab your puppy's harness, put it on them inside the house, and just let them wear it for 20 minutes while you go about your normal routine. That's step 1. That's it. You're already ahead of where most people start. If you want to go deeper on any part of this, the attention games, the 3 Ds, distraction proofing, there's a lot more on this channel that builds directly on what we covered here. And if you know another new puppy owner who's struggling with walks, send this to them. Because the earlier someone gets this right, the easier everything else becomes. Thanks for watching. If you loved this video, scan the QR code on the screen right now to subscribe and join the Pawsome Life family. Give your dog a belly rub for us, and we will see you in the next video.